If you won a bet on the side or total in game one, you were dead wrong and got lucky. Recognize that, all right? Whether you cashed with the Knicks, and I did. My clients and I cashed with the Knicks minus the points. It was a wrong side, and we got there thanks to a miracle late regulation and that carried over to overtime. Wrong side winner. I'll take it, but I'm not going into the handicap of game two saying, oh, yeah, I nailed it game one with the Knicks minus the points. Got lucky. And same story, obviously, with the total. And first half's the same way. The Cavs went on that big run right before halftime. The Knicks were dominating the first half, and then Cleveland went on a big run and ended up going into halftime with a lead. If you cashed a first half bet on Cleveland, I'm not convinced that was the right side. If you cashed with your over in game one, you know how lucky you got. You needed overtime to cash the over. So really, whatever you cashed with, if you won, not from a player prop standpoint, but from a side / total standpoint / money line standpoint, whatever you cashed with in game one, recognize you got lucky. Let's not give it back. Teddy covers wagertalk.com with a big game breakdown for game two, Knicks Cavs Thursday night. And right now, looking at the odds logic, a live odds screen. Of course, I'm an idiot. I have NFL up here instead of NBA. Good job, Ted, prepping for the video. That being said, NFL is just around the corner. We already started our NFL work. I start the team previews right after the draft ends. So we're working NFL on a daily basis this time of year. But let's not get distracted. Cavs, Knicks. I'm seeing mostly 6 out there here in Las Vegas. There are some 6.5s across the country, 6 and 6.5s at some of the global books. So the split line as I record this, Knicks minus 6 / 6.5. Total sitting in the 216 range. There's some variance off that. Well, you can find 215.5 if you like over. You can find 216.5 if you like under. And guys, I talk about it all the time because it's true. There's something to be said for not having to open 6 apps to find where the best number is. Go to oddslogic.com, see where the best number is, open your app, make your bet. Done. I do it every day. Get a free trial. Oddslogic.com / Teddy. Again, free 7-day all access trial for oddslogic.com and see what it can do for you. Maybe it's something you can use. Maybe it's something you don't. But you can try it for free. It takes a minute to sign up. Oddslogic.com / Teddy. So Knicks, let's call it 6 / 6.5 total, 216 / 216.5. There's variance right now on both side and total. And again, if you won any bet in game one, you don't say, oh, I handicapped that game perfectly. You got lucky. And you want to be, you have to be lucky sometimes, you really do. Any given game, I'd rather be lucky. I'd rather be dead wrong and lucky than nailed it and then get unlucky. I want to cash I'd rather be wrong and cash than right. And here's another clothing line value ticket. Oh, that's fun. But you got to be lucky sometimes. And so far here in the conference finals, through at least through the game ones, we've had side and total 3 of the 4. If you've cashed, you've had the wrong side. When games go under, games go over in overtime. When it goes from the dog to the favorite in overtime, you cash the ticket, but it's more lucky than good. So it's been if you've been losing so far in the finals, don't freak out. That's going to happen sometimes. You don't win every night. It's not realistic. But that said, you can't beat yourself up for having right sides that end up, they get some bad luck, some weird things happen at the end, and you lose. So it does happen. But if you lost any bet, side or total in this game in this series game one, don't think you got it wrong. And that's why, of course, nobody long term is going to hit 70 or 80%. Betting point spread sports. There are plenty of right sides, wrong result. The goal is if you hit 6 out of 10, you hit 60%, you're going to make a fortune. And you're going to make your clients a fortune. Everyone that tails you a fortune. If you can win 11 out of 20, 55%, you still make money and significant money when you look at it long term. So it's not about, you can go on these little runs. Sure. You can hit 80% for a week. You can hit 80% for a month. It's hard to do for longer than that. It really is. So for what it's worth. And of course, I do have a play available for this game on my homepage for tonight, for Thursday, wt.buzz / TC, or just visit the website, wagertalk.com. So the Cavs played a 7-game series, and they played another 7-game series, and then they went to New York and thought they had this one won, and they got outscored, obviously, by 22 points down the stretch in regulation, and then got beat up in overtime. And now, short turnaround time for game 2. And let's start with this. When you go 7 games and then 7 games, it's hard to get going in that third straight series with no rest and no extra rest. And of course, they've been 1 game on, 1 game off, 1 game on, 1 game off for the better part of the last month. I think there are some legitimate fatigue issues for Cleveland. And then you have, of course, the Kenny Atkinson no timeout scenario where I still don't understand. I mean, look, when the other team's going on a monster run, the crowd's going crazy, you do something. You don't just sit there and go, oh, I'm going to save my life by timeouts for the last minute when the lead's all blown. I point at least some of the finger on the Cavs' collapse in game 1 on a head coach who, I'm not going to say he's on the hot seat, but Tibbs was in the conference finals last year, and he got axed afterwards. You can make an argument that Kenny Atkinson has been outcoached in each of the first 3 series, each of the first 2 series, and it's happening again here. I did not think that his keeping the timeouts in his pocket was a particularly wise decision. I don't think his team did either, especially given the fatigue issues. And the Cavs bench got eaten up in game 1. And the Cavs bench isn't a long-term problem. They're, we talk about the likes of Strus and Schroeder and Merrill. These are guys who can play. These are guys who can put the biscuit in the basket. They didn't play well as a group in game 1. I do not think that is a long-term problem for the Cleveland Cavaliers. And I do think they have a better closeout in them than the one we just played. Now, it's certainly a decent case you can make here for the Knicks. I do think the Knicks are going to win the series. And in general, when I think a team is going to win the series, I want my money on them in any given ballgame. Not this game, though. This to me is and we look at Cleveland on the road here in the postseason. And it's all this, oh my God, the Cavs can't win a road game. Yeah, they can. The Cavs have been to OT 3 times on the highway already here in the postseason. And yeah, that kind of stuff will happen. But it also tells us that Cleveland's not getting bombed in these games when you're in overtime again and on the road. Look at Cleveland can't win on the road. Well, first of all, they won a game 7 in Detroit. They won a game 5 in Detroit. And at the end of regulation, they were tied with the Knicks. They beat the Pistons by 31 on the road last time. They won in overtime in Detroit the previous game. The 2 losses against Detroit, again, they were in those games. They lose each time by 10 points or less. The game at Toronto, they lose by a bucket in OT. They lose another one by 4. They've been competitive on the highway consistently. And the fact they haven't won a ton of these games has bettors a little bit reluctant to back them. The Knicks had it real easy, obviously, in the previous round, where things, again, broke right for them against Philly. And they had the long layoff, and they bounced back, and they played a great stretch run. But if you ask me, which of these 2 teams do I trust to build off what happened in game 1, I'm going to say Cleveland. I think the Knicks, with that furious rally, I do worry about them and their mentality in game 2. And I know they're confident, say, we can be 22 down in 7 minutes less and still win a game. And they can. But I don't think Cleveland gets out dominated the way they did down the stretch there. And I think the Cavs have a much better game in them. Certainly a much better closing run in than the one we just saw. So if I'm playing game 2 sideways, if I'm playing game 2 sideways, if I'm playing game 2 sidewise, I'll be looking at Cleveland plus, not the Knicks minus. And that's my take. Obviously, we have guaranteed selections available at wagertalk.com. Visit my homepage, www.buzz/TC. Like, comment, subscribe. Thank you for your support. And the subscribe thing's real. I keep on saying we're just shy of 250,000. We're just shy of 250,000. You get instant alerts every time these videos go live. And we are just shy of 250,000. So it's time. Like, comment, subscribe. Thank you for your support. And, of course, check out my homepage, www.buzz/TC, for tonight's top-rated winners. Thanks for watching. Best of luck with all your bets on Thursday and beyond. And we'll see you in the next video. Stay tuned for more quality video content right here on Wager Talk TV. Cheers.